Hey, what's up, people? It's your boy DT the Artist. We are in Manhattan, New York right now at the YouTube studios in the Chelsea Market. And I have the one and only, the infamous, my bro Shah, aka Shahzilla.
What up?
aka Mr. Breakfast Pants.
What up, Breakfast Pants?
Now,
I have to learn about that
I'm
one.
gonna let y'all know this interview is gonna be a little different because like this.
Why is it gonna be different? You ain't bringing the VIP status for your boy.
No, because we bring in the VIP status. We rolling out the red carpets and everything because we have a lot of history.
Oh, so I get the VIP status.
Yeah,
oh, so you watching the VIP edition?
Exactly.
Okay.
Most artists, I know one, two thing about them, just ask, whatever. But we have specific situations that we can talk about.
Sweet.
So to get it started, Shah is someone who, as an artist, has transcended all type of barriers that were supposed to have held him back. But he's one of those guys, he comes in with the karate kick and says, nah, let's break these barriers.
It's more of like a foot forward kick down. Karate kick.
Forward, okay.
Yeah, karate kick, you gotta,
So more street style.
I guess you could say street style, but it's like Timberland boot style,
Okay.
Yeah.
A Jersey type of thing.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Now, this past summer was, I guess, momentous for both of us because we went on our first tour together.
Yep. My first tour, period, anything, my first thing of more than say 3 shows in a row ever.
Okay. Now, in doing that, it was an interesting experience because I've seen you do some of the bigger festivals and those kind of things. So now going to Europe, for those of you watching, we were in Europe and doing New School Rules and Midem and Poland and some of those. A lot of times artists don't realize that you might get a couple big festivals, but then there's the filler shows, right? And in doing that, what was your experience in the different arenas? Whereas, all right, we got a big show, we got the smaller ones, we got these. In terms of, I guess, building your brand and experience in Europe.
So, how, obviously but for the fans, how I entered this tour, got on this tour, was DT was a part of a collective that was organizing this tour, largely Toronto artists. And he's like, my dog, I want you to be one of the headliners on this tour of Canadian Toronto artists that are doing Europe. And it's like, oh, okay, let's do this. Is any overlaps, any conflicts? No, let's go. But I didn't know what sort of fan base I had in Europe. So just with that, it's I've now come to just, you get what you put in, or so I didn't come there with any expectations.
Okay.
But when people afterwards, but then after coming back, when people ask me yo, how does it go? And I say it's it was better than I could have hoped for. Because you had shows like Poland. So you're saying, you're talking about, well, you're the way that this tour would go, and maybe for a lot of artists that are sort of figuring out themselves, doing their own path. Yeah, so then there was a little conference festival type thing at the end, and then at the beginning, and a bigger one at the end, and then shows that connected all that, right? Exactly. Shows in different countries. But it was the Poland show in Gdansk.
Yeah, Gdansk.
That was are you kidding me?
Fresh and dope.
That was lit. Or even the next show in Warsaw, which I guess was more of influencers and artists and whatever, was more intimate, but it wasn't really a showcase because they were all still wilding out. They were singing along.
Yeah.
My dog DT will come and hype for me like real brother shit. And then the whole join these people maybe 5% of them know who I am from before. Maybe 10%. They're singing along to this shit. So the vibe of that one, so Poland was a huge surprise. And then the Rotterdam was exactly what you described, and that was really the only thing that you described. You're like, all right, this is how this one's gonna be, and then the end one should be like this. And the end one, I guess, was better than expected.
Nice.
It
feels good when you go and you have your badges and everything. You're official. You get to go different places because both of them, we got food, different places, that kind of thing. And even in Rotterdam, that yacht party was kind of cool.
Oh yes. Shout out Ontario Music. Putting on that yacht party, true.
Ontario Music, SEMA.
Right, all them. Yep. So it wasn't. Dio had his little boat party. So so consistently this tour was better than expected, and and like as an artist, it was one of those moments where, like me, I'm also sort of the brains of my operation, right? So this was a case of like just getting to be the artist, and it was, damn. It
you don't gotta overthink things.
I don't really have to think at all. I don't really like if I didn't want to do any thinking, I could have just been like, all right, so what's the plan, right? And then in some situation, it was the Raptors were winning. Raptors were on the championship. So then that lane opened up. Oh, yo, host these Raptor viewing parties. So then I took that. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this for the squad, right? Like for the whole whatever. I'll see this. We got these flyers that went viral with the memes of. If you remember Donovan Bailey, Canada, when they won in Atlanta, I don't know, like a long time ago, Olympics, Unabomber, and then there was but then Canada won the 100 meters, and then they won the 4 by the relay. So there's these epic pictures of the Canada gear was looking real dope. They got them, and then someone put our faces on these joints, for the Raptor viewing parties. So it's like I did a little bit of thing just because that's my nature, but I didn't need to do nothing, and it was nice.
Now, one of the things, like, I'm always telling artists that as much as your expectations are, one of the biggest things is the relationships that comes out of it.
Yep.
So how did you, I guess, foresee, or did you foresee, like, some of the relationships that you were able to come away with from being on the road? Knowing people who organize certain festivals now, people who are part of the conferences, and just some of the people you met, labels, those kind of things, that now you can kind of do business with moving forward.
I guess I kind of anticipated that because maybe you gave me a heads up, or from previous, like from South by and these type things, you understand it. Well, that's a big part of it, right? Now these European joints are like way smaller than South by, which on the positive of that is that it's like sort of peaceful or small enough that you could be like, all right, well, here's the people who here's the people that are here. And I'm gonna find, and so I know there's only this many people here, so who do I want to fuck with? And I'll find them, right? Versus it's not 7,000 people who are the kings of all these industries. There's Bernie Sanders here, right? So from that standpoint, I knew what to expect. I guess one reality for me, or one thing that either it's a reality or something that I need to address myself personally as an artist, is that sort of, whatever you call it, networking or whatever. Like, so you're talking with some, adult festival, whatever. Like, here's someone who can do something for you. If there's a vibe, that's great. If there's a situation that, we're in the same room just because we're supposed to be, and we catch a vibe, we're having a drink, whatever, beautiful. That's great. That's what I like. But then when it's a situation of it's sort of like, not manufactured, but it's like, all right, well, if you want to make use of it, it feels forced. Like, if you want to make use of this, then here's what you got to do. You got to go find this guy, whatever. And it's like, even if there's not a vibe, even if this is not someone that I would fuck with, it's like, well, you should do it. Like, if you're here to hustle, if you're here to make the most of every second, go and do it. So that part, I mean, like you do it well, or Buddy, my producer, Just Text, he does it super well. Of just like Levin, who's produced Fuck 'Em Up and like Poison and Monster and Our Joint, he turns it on. Cause you see Buddy and Levin, I've seen, it's a different, it's a switch that goes on and they're ready to do it. And it looks like they're enjoying it. With you, it's sort of like you often have that positivity, friendliness, blah, blah, blah. So it's not as much of a switch. But for me, I don't know, it's sort of like, I don't know, painful a little bit. Like, like talking in your white voice and all that. So to answer your question, long story short, I knew that it was there. I think I took advantage because, like, say, the first landing spot in Europe, that led to the beginning of this next Europe thing. So, like, I went back out at the end of summer and was in Europe again touring. So like I did it. It's just not my favorite thing. Like, I'd rather be like, drinking, you know,
On the beach in Cannes.
Jugo de Guayaba, yeah, like on the beach or anywhere, you know.
Okay, so the thing I want to get to now is we've talked about the tour and all these things, networking, but I want, I guess, the viewers to be able to kind of get to know who you are.
Okay.
So tell them the backstory, you know, being in Atlanta, the DJs you've worked with, how your music started getting out there. Where does that come from?
Sure. So how I ended up in Atlanta was I was trying to make it. Like, you know, it's like I was spending time in other places. I went to school, all that, and it just all that wasn't for me. It was like, all right, well, you know, music is the thing. Like, this is the thing. So now let's do it. Like, and then something clicked, I guess. Like, well, wait a minute, you can do this. This is something you can do.
Yeah.
But then it was just a matter of like figuring it out was, you know, happening slowly or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or it was happening slowly until Atlanta, and then got to Atlanta, and then things started going. And God bless Atlanta. A big part of why Atlanta creates the stars, why that's the factory, why that's the Mecca, is because the people of Atlanta will support your wave. You come in with something hot, something new, doing you just know that you got it, then Atlanta's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you for sure. Hell yeah, let's do it. Right? There's no like, you know, insecurity or whatever it is that keeps that from happening in other places. So that's what happened. So Atlanta got it going for me, dropped Just Text, and it was through the I guess the strip clubs, or like it was through the trap, it was through the streets that I got going, which is I'm not from the streets. I wasn't even really in the streets like that, but it was
It showed you love though.
That's who showed me love, and that's who took it off, and that's kind of who propels your career in Atlanta. So that started going. So it was strip clubs, it was Magic City. Once people found out Magic City was behind me, it led to more. And then Swamp Izzo, who you took care of in Toronto.
Shout out DJ Swamp
Shout out my dog DJ Swamp Izzo. Then Swamp Izzo took me. So then it's like, oh, Swamp is Shah's DJ. Oh, Swamp's artist. Then it was sort of like, okay, well, you made it in Atlanta. You're somebody in Atlanta. Like,
nice.
You'll always be able to make money off your name in Atlanta. Like, whatever it is, it's like, you know, you're there. So, so that kept going. So Just Text, that was my breakout hit. And then it was the build on top of that. Because the organic build from there, of course, going viral on the internet, whatever, that's one thing, right? But if you're going to put in the work, especially the consequence of not being in the streets in Atlanta, the consequences of not like doing it the normal way is you might not have the same, oh shit, I just trapped $250,000 in the last 3 weeks. So then you can just pay for everything that needs to make it go
budget.
to go fast. So then you got to do it, you know, you got to do it yourself. And then the blessing there though is that what Atlanta leads to is like the chitlin circuit. It leads to the South, where the people are a lot more passionate. So that's what's been happening. And then Miami got behind me, Raleigh, North Carolina got behind me. I started doing things like, you know, the Super Bowl was in Atlanta.
Yes.
So big up Kaepernick, big up my dog. But I got some of those opportunities. I didn't do anything on the Super Bowl day, but it was in Atlanta. There's a week leading up to it, so I did some of those joints. Ended up in NBA, the All-Star Game, which is in North Carolina.
Nice.
I'm involved in the art world, like the street art world. So I've been doing Art Basel for a couple of years now. Galleries will bring me down to like host or whatever, get the party popping.
I'll actually be going there for the first time this year.
You'll be there in Basel in December?
No, they have one happening in summer. October 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Actually, no, it's Art Basel is presenting something called Pop Basel.
Okay,
Yeah.
Pop Basel, that's the artist from Atlanta?
No, it's something to do, like it's some gallery thing, whichever, in Miami.
All right, whatever it is,
They
that's
contacted me and was like, hey, here's tickets, whatever, come on through.
Dope.
Okay, perfect timing.
Yeah, so that's I guess like was the next wave after. All right, something's happening in Atlanta. Let's make it. Let's sort of relocate here, and then that was also like easier than it could have been. Like, cause I had done the same switch over from, I guess, for like a Toronto boy, for a Toronto hustler, New York is the natural progression. New York, you sort of feel it. Like, you know, Goldilocks with the Bears, the story, too hot, too cold.
Yeah.
For me, it was like in Toronto, like I love Toronto, like with all my heart. Of course, obviously, I'll go to war if you're not. But in Toronto, it's always like, damn, this guy's too loud. This guy eats too much
There's
food.
always something.
There's too much hot sauce. This guy's ego's too, like, whatever it is, it's too much, like, right? And it's like, and then I felt bad. It kind of like hurt me growing up because it's like, oh shit, am I wrong? Like, am I bad?
Mm.
What's wrong? But you get to New York, it's like, oh, this is just right.
Yeah, just right.
So that was easy. But then before Atlanta, some things opened up in LA and went to LA. And then that was like a tougher move because, like, get out there. It was just me and Liz, I think. Oh, and then I guess, and Borna, my cinematographer, Mafia Da Vinci. Okay. So it was just the three of us, and didn't know anyone in LA. There was like a friend here or there. It was like, oh, yo, come to LA, I got you, right? And LA's the place, and LA makes sense as the place to be. So get out there, and it's like, okay, well, there's things happening here that couldn't happen in Toronto, whatever, but okay, so let's just keep going, then get to Atlanta, and then boom. So that's been the story until very recently, nice. when something, I guess, did go viral, which is something that I, for given up on, or I'm like, oh, you need a machine, or it's all, whatever, this shit doesn't happen anymore. But Eddie, my longtime recording engineer, producer, is like a New York Dominicano, like all the way. I'd been telling him I want to do some Latin trap.
Okay.
And it's like, let's just let it happen at the right.
Something different, yeah.
Let's just let it happen, like, organically, right? And then his new studio in Miami, I think this was right before we went to tour, just was kind of fucking around. And sometimes I'll be like, yo, how do you say this? Because, like, I'll know how to say it in the like, library way.
Okay, yeah.
Or
textbook.
Like textbook type thing, like enemy is enemigo, right?
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like that's silly.
Yeah, it sounds
amigo
too...
and enemigo, that just sounds silly to me. So I'll say, oh, how do you say that? Blah blah blah, and he'll tell me the Dominican way. So I sort of learned some slang, and then we had something, and we both sort of knew that it like was special.
Yeah.
But then that often happens, right? And then so what? We're all sitting on lots of hits. Like, it's the machine part, that's the hard part, right? Mm-hmm. But then there was some other, like, New York Dominicans that happened to be in Miami that weekend. I wasn't there. And then apparently they heard it and they just lost it.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Eruption. And Eddie's like, yo, I never seen.
It's talking about Telemundo.
So then, and then it was like, yo, this is gonna go. And then it went. And then it went on the internet, just like, so shout out, World Latin Star, that's the one to first get it popping, free World Latin Star. And then, a bunch of these Dominican sites, so Team Dominican, Dominicans Be Like, Dominican Problems, Music Urbana, and then so many just new Dominican fans.
Wow.
Because coming from Toronto, it's like, that support is not part of the first step.
Yeah.
The love from the people around you, that's just not what it is.
You were also part of the Dominican parade, right? Where you were in the car. And
so then the next thing I'm starring in the Dominican parade. There's 10,000 participants in the parade. What is it, 250,000 or 500,000 Dominicans in the streets?
Just audience.
Yeah.
Festival going.
So the Dominicans, these New York Dominicans, all the Dominicans, even the ones in Dominican, it's been so much love. Mm. It's been so much love that, like, you didn't. I guess as an artist, like, of course, it's the fans' love that is, for me, the major motivator, the number one major motivator, more than money, more than girls, more than whatever. Like, well, I guess a lot of them are girls, but that's the major thing. But just the way that it happened. I guess, like I said, this was the first time of viral for me. The first time I was like, all right, normally it's you put in this much energy, and then you work it, and then you'll get you'll get a little bit more back, right? You'll get some more back, right?
A small return on investment.
Some return that is like whatever. But this one was like, you just do the thing, and oh shit, it's oh shit.
It's one of those
What?
where you almost forget about it. Someone's like, yo, have you checked the numbers? It's like, whoa.
Yeah, literally, that's what. Or oh, this news site posted it. It went off. Or
Because even on the Instagram post, I think when I saw it, it already had like 111,000 views or something.
yeah, right.
I was like, what?
Right. And like this is pretty much just like it's pretty much just like New York Dominicans and then New York Puerto Ricans and then some of the other like cool country like whatever's cool like some Colombians, some Venezuelans, whatever. But it's really just Dominicans, and it's to the point. So Eddie was telling me, so now like not really being in New York anymore, I didn't feel this part, but Eddie just told me, and I guess he just assumed that I was having the same experience, but he was like, because he still got the spot at 147th and Broadway, where we met, right? I used to live up there. That's where he came up. So in the Heights, like in the Dominican area. So he's telling me he goes to church. People are like, yo! He's
recognition.
He's running a session. The artists come in. They're like, yo, you made it. So he's like in the streets, people that his mom and them.
Wow.
Like, so he said he's like there is not. And then I didn't realize that the influence of World Latin Star did go beyond Dominicans into like beyond Latino. So like even black, white, like at least in New York.
Yeah.
Right?
So people are starting to kind of get the facets of what's going on now.
Well, because he would have like a nothing to do with Dominican like artists come in, like a regular white, black, whoever comes in, and they just know about it. So he said that the way that thing went off, like anyone who's like like 16 to like 40, anywhere in there,
okay.
If you're in New York and you kind of like you pay attention to rap, or like you pay attention to like ratchet shit or whatever,
okay.
like you know what I mean?
So they know.
They'll all know what it was. So yeah, so that was dope. So now, so yeah, I guess that's kind of like there's something else more, I guess, more Eddie than Telemundo itself, but another sort of big door is open on the industry side of things, just letting things happen in the way that I want. So now it's like, yeah, for a long time I've been asking for guidance because I didn't want to be the brains of the operation or I didn't want that to be on my shoulders. Mm-hmm. If there's a situation where, oh, hey, here's this idea, blah, 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 right? But otherwise, outside of the art and the creating, I wanted someone experienced to guide me, and then that's just happened. So,
nice.
So yeah, so that's the update. That brings us to today.
All right. So, wow, that's amazing, all the experience. I mean, summing it up, it just seems like constant building and growth and celebrating the wins.
Yeah, it got faster, like closer to now.
Exactly.
But yeah, that momentum is key. That when you have that good happening, then the momentum is key in reality, and then also the perception of what's going on. Because when I got back from Europe, I don't know what it was like for you. I guess you stayed out there for a minute.
Yeah, I was out there for another 2.5 months.
But for me, so it's like, so I know, like I said, the tour was a positive surprise, right? But I guess I didn't even think about what it was looking like on the gram, right?
To everyone else who's looking, yeah.
But when I landed, then everyone else, oh my God, that shit looked lit. Like in Atlanta, I really felt it. Cause I was at a show, I was at Yoshi's show, which was the most lit show I've done. Yoshi's show when I got back to Atlanta was the most lit show I've done since Gdansk.
Okay, nice.
And so I think I got there the night before. Yoshi's like, yo, pull up. I want you to like just come be a guest on, like pop up, do a joint, whatever. But it was like his audience, right? Mm-hmm. Which I definitely fuck with them, and there's some overlap, but it's different, right?
Yeah.
They all knew what was up, and there was so much love. I walked, yo, you killing, welcome back,
nice.
Welcome home, good, yo, you killing it.
So it's good vibes all around.
It was great. It was a great vibe, and it was like the same way that Dominican love hits you like, oh, like on one hand it hits you like this is amazing, and then there's a part like, yes, this is why I do this.
Exactly.
Then that was happening more easily in Atlanta as well. So yeah, that's coming back and celebrating the wins. Like it's been easier to do so.
Exactly. Man, Shah, I want to thank you so much for your time. Tell the people where they can find you at, and y'all stay in touch with him.
Yo, y'all could probably find me on DT's page because he's always bigging up the boys. So just go to DT the artist, on the road with DT, whatever, you'll find me. And then, you know, I got the big smile and the big good looking everything, you know. So, or if you want to go direct, you go to Day of Shah, and then that's where, you know, see this pretty boy lifestyle.
This is DT the Artist for Artist Talk, Worldwide Entertainment Television. Signing off.
Yes, check it out, man. This is your boy Akon, and right now you got it locked to Worldwide Entertainment TV. Keep it locked.